Hey guys, I haven't done a video in quite some time, and I've had this crazy idea running through my head that I actually want to talk about the ending of The Last of Us. It seems that everybody I'm speaking to, be it friends, family, strangers, or other gamers, they were quite put off by the ending of The Last of Us and felt quite underwhelmed or even angry about it. And in this video, I'm going to be expressing my personal opinions about what I thought about it. Honestly, in a nutshell, I thought the ending was mwah. I thought it was a very good send-off. I'll be getting into details why in a sec, but before I do, I'm going to give you two warnings. Warning number one, if you have not played The Last of Us, if you have not experienced the ending, don't watch this video, just shut it off immediately. I will not be held accountable for this. So you've got 3 seconds to go if you haven't played it. Okay, and warning number two, I've had next to no sleep. I'm running on fumes, and you're going to be getting a lot of incoherent babble, I feel anyway. So now that I've got you excited, I can just feel it, let's talk about the ending. So the ending of The Last of Us, we find out that Joel and Ellie have finally made it to Salt Lake City in Utah. They have tracked down the Fireflies after a traumatic event in which Ellie almost drowns. They're woken up, and Marlene tells Joel that Ellie is being prepped for surgery, and the only way that they can propagate any sort of vaccine is to remove her brain and examine the fungal growth which makes her immune. Joel is not taking no for an answer. To him, this one girl is his savior. She really is the catalyst, or should I say, the one thing that changed his aspect on life. He's going to put up a fight for her. He's going to kill anything and everything in order to save her. He doesn't believe that Ellie should be the one held accountable to save her own life, to probably save mankind. Nobody knew that this experiment or surgery would actually benefit in creating a vaccine. Nobody actually knew. He doesn't feel that's right, so what he does, he picks up Ellie, almost makes it out, but he's stopped by Marlene. He shoots Marlene in cold blood. He shoots her in the face, saying that she would just come after her in the long run. And we find out in the very last scene that Joel actually lies to Ellie, saying that everything about the Fireflies, their endeavours of trying to create a cure, is practically obsolete. They've given up trying to find a cure, that there are actually more people like Ellie who were immune to the disease, and they've given up altogether. And it does end where Ellie says, "Promise to me, swear to me that everything you said about the Fireflies is true," in which Joel simply responds, "I swear." So before we go any further, I feel that we must discuss the character development here. I think it's a very crucial and important device. I think that the development of Joel and Ellie's character, it really does make the ending collide and culminate together. It really does make the ending feel understandable to me anyway. So firstly, I want to talk about Joel. So Joel, from the beginning, we all knew that he was a very typical father at the beginning of the game, but we could all smell it from a mile off that something bad was going to happen, and bad does unfortunately happen. His daughter does die at the hands of the government. The game jumps forward 20 years, and it follows what happens in his day-to-day lifestyle. He's become a black market dealer. He deals in weapons, food, alcohol, murder, all sorts of really, really terrible stuff. And to the untamed eye, it might look as though they're just surviving, but I can honestly say that him and Tess were really rotten people, really despicable, horrible people. But over the course of time in which Joel actually meets Ellie, he does not want to take up this mission at all. He really does not like this kid. And I feel that Joel is very much dead inside. He's closed off that part of his life. At this point in time, he's just focused on surviving. Emotions are pretty much petty matters to him. And throughout Joel and Ellie's journey, they have this beautiful chemistry going on. They really grow together. They fall and rise together. And what I really like that Naughty Dog did is humanize them. They gave them areas or points in time in which they would grow in positive ways, but not always. They'd grow in very negative ways as well. A very typical human reaction, I think. I think the point in which Joel actually starts caring about Ellie deeply is that part, I believe it's Pittsburgh, I don't know if I'm absolutely right or absolutely wrong, I'm probably wrong, but the part in which Joel wipes out a whole wave of enemies and he finally gives Ellie a handgun. From that point, he understands that age is but a number. She's only 14 years old, but she's really just like him at the end of the day. She's just fighting for survival. She wants to look out for him, and from that point, he slowly but surely matures. He warms up to her. He really has a deep, passionate sense and an obligation to really protect her, like Tess said. You must feel some sort of obligation to me that you have to get this girl to Tommy's. And that was a quote on the game, by the way. There's also some more scenes which unfold. Their relationship really blossoms. I think the point in which it really hit home for me was when Ellie butchered the living crap out of David. She takes up his machete, just pummels the living crap out of his face, and he calls her baby girl, and he only reserved that name for his daughter. And I found that, as a gamer, really, really emotional. I had a hard time with that part because Joel, from that point in time, had been closed off, very extroverted, and from that point he let down his guard. He understood that Ellie's not going to be the same from this point, and I think this is where I'll be stopping with Joel's part for the time being. Next, I want to talk about Ellie. So when it comes to Ellie, likewise with Joel, they really didn't hit it off well at all. They really hate each other's guts. But from the point in which Joel hands her a gun, she understands that finally this guy can trust me, I can look out for him, and I can be more than a 14-year-old distraction. I don't know about how you guys feel, but I think kids are pretty annoying, or kids at that age anyway. But she really blossoms from that point. Up until the point in which she actually kills David, she basically massacres him. She changes. There's a shift in her development. It goes from, like I said in Joel's part, they grow in positive but negative ways as well. And from that initial scene, Ellie becomes mute. She becomes detached. She has remorse. She is deeply traumatized by those events, and I can only fathom what that would be like, having to kill someone and trying to resume your journey to finding the Fireflies. You're not going to be the same, and thank God that Naughty Dog portrayed that, because from that point her life would never be the same. What follows shortly is a scene in which Joel and Ellie are petting a giraffe, and it's actually one of my favourite scenes in the entire game. It was just beautiful, in which they were reflecting on their journey, saying, Joel's saying to Ellie that we don't have to do this, you know, we can get away from all of this, we can just live at Tommy's town and resume our lives. Ellie responds by saying that after all I've been through, after all we've done, it can't be for nothing. And I think that taking age out of the equation, age has nothing to do with it. This is what you call brilliant character evolution. There's this real shift in the characters where Joel becomes more paternal-like and Ellie becomes more assertive. She's very focused from that point. She knows what she wants to do. It was just such a beautiful scene, and yeah, what did you guys think about that scene? Because I absolutely adore it. And jumping to the very final scene of the game, in which Joel blatantly lies to her in her face, she starts having guilt trips. She is deeply troubled by all those that are dying around her. She's waiting for her turn. She said that people around her, such as Tess, her friend Riley, and Sam, she's waiting for her turn, and Joel is trying to comfort her, saying that, you know, you have to find something to keep fighting for. And she blatantly tells him, tell me everything that you said about the Fireflies is true, which he says, I swear. And she has this look in her eyes, and I think you need to pay close attention. To me, it's like she's almost pleading with him, like, please tell me the truth. From this point, their relationship has really manifested into something more than just, I trust this person. It's more that he sees Ellie as his surrogate daughter. You might notice at the beginning of the game, he's carrying his daughter when she gets shot. At the very end of the game, he's holding Ellie. It was just such a beautiful nuance. It was just so subtle. It just added this flavour. It just added this deep, complex layer to their relationship, which is something I very rarely ever see in a video game. So my initial thoughts when I came to the ending was, huh? And then On a side note, I went, oh. And finally, I actually had to do another playthrough to understand why the story ended there, because like you, I was quite distraught that the ending ended there. I really wanted the game to go on further, but I think that really comes under the umbrella that I didn't want the game to end. I was so emotionally invested in these characters. The story had me by the hooks. I didn't want the story to end, and that was the saddest part for me about the game, that the game had to end. If I had it my way, I'd want the game to go on forever and ever and ever and ever. But that's not the case here. This is a video game. So yeah, when I came to that realization of the initial shock, I found that the ending was incredibly ambiguous. It left it to my own interpretation. I don't know how other gamers feel, but I feel that I don't need my hand held the entire time. I like to do a bit of the thinking myself. We're not watching a film here. Films play beginning, middle, end. Games really offer you the opportunity, the interactive opportunity, to perceive things how you want it to. You're the player. The game can't progress without you. So it does involve you to that degree. And I got that with The Last of Us. So at the end of the day, I think that people really need to expand their horizons on what they think a good and a bad ending is. The ending is bleak, to me anyway. It doesn't necessarily give me hope. To me, it's given hope to a future installment. I hope to God we get another game. I'm pretty set on the fact that we won't though. Or that it's paving the way for DLC. I think it's leaving it at a very good point. And this ambiguous ending really does... It made the experience for me, just like Final Fantasy 13-2 when Sarah dies, which I didn't expect. It made the overall experience, call it the cherry on top if you will. So long story short, I was initially shocked by the ending, but then I grew to appreciate it after I did more thinking, after I went through the process of elimination in my head. I can deeply understand, or should I say, I can really appreciate the fact that so much thought and detail went into this story. And I think gamers should be happy that such a great story was given to us. I think half of us were upset because we didn't want the story to end, just like me. What did you guys feel? I'm extremely interested to know what other people thought about the ending for The Last of Us, so by all means, please let me know what your ideas, opinions and thoughts were in the comment section below. I'm very, very interested to know this. You will see me in my next video, which will be hopefully tomorrow or the day after. I'll be doing like a game room tour. A lot of people ask me what my game setup is. I thought I'd just do that in a video. I hope that's okay. So I shall see you over in the next 1 to 2 days. So thanks for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I shall see you next time. Bye!